Hello everyone, welcome back to Fanblade. This week we are carrying on with this cheap bass guitar. Massive response from last week's video. Thank you very much to everyone who watched it. Thank you very much to everyone who subscribed. And thank you very much to everyone who has come back to see more. Duncan. So those of you who watched the last video will know that this pickup fell apart on stage. That was kind of interesting. I still had this one working, so I was able to finish the song okay. But we need to swap these out. So we also need to get them in the right place, because the pole pieces in relation to the string should actually be about there. That's not really good enough. That means that we're going to have to either carve a bit out of the pickguard on either side, so shuffle them over, or we can make a whole new pickguard. That presents a whole lot of opportunities for doing things like rearranging the control knobs in order to install a jazz bass pickup. So that's what we're going to do. First thing I'm going to do is actually repair this, though, because a lot of people wanted a sound test of the original pickups that came with the bass. So I'll glue that one back together, give you a sound test, install the Seymour Duncans, give you a sound test in the same position. Then we'll rip it all out, make it better, and then I'll do another comparison in the correct place. So this is kind of a bass rebuilding, jazz bass pickup installing, Seymour Duncan reviewing. Grab a cup of coffee, we're going to be here for a while. Okay, so it was actually glued in. There is evidence of glue having been in there. Not potted in anything. Ceramic magnet. Is it wax coated? Is that wax? Yeah, it's wax. Okay. Right. Right. Oh, you're kidding me. This pickup is the magnet is being held on with sort of wax to hold it in place and magnetism to hold it down. That's absolutely just shockingly bad. I don't even want to bother installing them anymore. I suppose I can glue that back on. Hopefully it still works, and then we can do the sound tests. Right, to the studio. Hey, I'm in focus this week. So here's the big unboxing of these. These actually cost more than this bass did. So it's the Seymour Duncan SPB3 quarter-pounder pickup for P-bass. We've got screws, mounting foam. Ooh, double-sided mounting foam. Ooh, very good. Looks like we've got the pickup itself. Man, those are chunky. Okay. And we've got a little manual. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a master volume and a blend knob. So all this wiring, I'm going to make my own. We can throw that well away. The pickups themselves though, these are nice. They feel heavy. They feel heavy. Alright, let's chuck them in the base and see what they do. Well, that's already got much more substantial winding on there. Check that out. I shouldn't have glued these back together. We could have seen the. Which one did I glue? Can I rip the other one apart? Ah, never mind. Okay, so already I'm noticing something. If you have a real close look at these pickups here, that edge is super sharp, whereas these are all nicely contoured. Everything's got a little bit of a radius on it, it's a little bit rounded, so that's nice. Okay, it's worth noting that these ends haven't been tinned. It'd be nice if they did that at the factory, but you know, that's alright. It'll take me 5 seconds to tin them. And this pickup is measuring 11K. 11K. Well, that's far better than there. What were they? 6.9, glued together with wax. Right. Not all of the holes are matching up because I suspect these are just ever so slightly not in the right place. We're getting rid of this pickguard anyway. That's not going to be a problem. I'm going to put in the bare minimum of screws, and then we'll part. That'll do. Okay, so that was a rousing success. The output was a little bit low, not because the pickups are quieter, but because the strings are too far away from them. That is because the pickup cavity is too deep for the screws that I've got. We'll sort all of that out. Also, you know, like they're offset. We need to do some work on it, but the pickups sound a lot nicer. There's a lot sweeter sound there. So, yeah. Let's get on with that. I'm about to do some major surgery to the space, so it requires disassembling the entire thing and making sure that I've marked out the centre line everywhere possible. I'm making the new pickguard out of some clear acrylic, because that'll give us some nice options later, and it's easy to work with. jazz bass pickup I'm using is off an old Squire. I played it for years and I know the sound of it very well. It's a very nice pickup even if the output is a little bit low compared to the Seymour Duncan. Just made a little template for transferring the shape onto the body so I can route it out nice and cleanly. Jazz bass pickup is routed, all of these holes are lining up and everything's looking good. Output jacks there, I'm going to do a tone, a blend and a volume knob, and maybe another little switch which I'll tell you about in a bit. But for now it is time to get these pickups in the right place. The centre line, or what's left of the centre line that I've drawn on the body, matches with the centre line on the pickguard, so that's good. I can just mark out where the pickups are going to go and cut some holes. And I remembered to clamp down the scroll saw for this one. Acrylic is a lovely material to work with, but you do have to be careful. If you take too many chances it can crack. I've changed the saw on the scroll saw to a very, very fine metal cutting saw. It's only taking a very, very small, easy bite, so it doesn't risk cracking the material. Okay, so we're finally ready to assemble everything. A couple of things worth noting. The screws are plenty long enough. They are the screws that came with the base. The screws that came with the pickups, with the Seymour Duncan pickups, are not long enough. That is because these cavities are routed too deep for these pickups. Even with the foam mounted on there, it's just not enough to hold it up far enough. Therefore, more foam. We'll be adding more foam. Also, the jazz bass pickup foam is all dry and crumbly and that's just awful. So we'll clean that off. Also, nope, that's it. Let's do this. This is actually the packaging foam that came with the pickups. The subject of blend knobs needs a whole video by itself, but just briefly, it is my preference to have a blend knob coupled with a master volume so that I can set the balance between my pickups and then adjust the volume without altering the tone, which is almost impossible with separate volumes for neck and bridge. A blend pot is a very specific type of pot. It's double gang with a centre detent. Using a standard pot will function electrically, but in the centre position both pickups will effectively be at half volume, A blend pot has its home position in the centre at full volume and then just turns down each pickup as you rotate away from either of them. It sounds complicated, and it kind of is, but the end result is a much more user-friendly instrument. And there it is, sounding pretty gnarly with the pickups in the right place. That definitely helps. I quite like the look of it as well. It's sort of the industrial kind of thing going on. A lot of people like it. Some people might not like that, but because this is clear, we can simply put something underneath it, like red cardboard, or blue, or black, or pink. But personally, just for me, I've gone for the white, and I've just airbrushed a line around the outside. I think it looks elegant. I think it looks pretty classy. I'm very, very happy with it. It doesn't look, tacky or gaudy or flashy or gimmicky or any of that stuff, until you want to flick my secret switch here. And it's the fast train to Funky Town. If you want to see how I did this, then subscribe to this channel and come back next week. Thanks very much for watching.